Marcus Aurelius once said, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." In a world that constantly shouts at us telling us what to want, how to feel, and who to become, imagine unlocking the power to step away from all that noise. Picture standing still in the eye of life's storm, calm, clear-headed, and content, no matter what chaos swirls around you. That isn't just rare, it's revolutionary. This revolution doesn't begin out there, changing the world itself. It starts somewhere much closer inside your own mind. True power, real freedom, and lasting happiness come not from controlling circumstances, but from mastering your response to them. That's the heart of Stoicism, an ancient philosophy that feels startlingly modern once you understand it. But make no mistake, this is not a dry history lesson about Roman emperors and dusty scrolls. This is about you, your mornings, your struggles, your moments of self-doubt and frustration. Stoicism is a living, breathing guidebook for navigating the pressures of modern life without losing your center. It's about transforming those chaotic, caffeine-fueled mornings into intentional launches, springboards into days filled with purpose, clarity, and even joy. It's about standing firm when life feels overwhelming, and discovering that calm isn't something you wait for, it's something you create. And surprisingly, happiness doesn't come from big wins or perfect circumstances. It comes from the tiniest of moments when your mind and your values align. So, if you've ever felt like life's volume is turned up too high, if you've ever craved a sense of peace that doesn't shatter the moment reality knocks, or if you've simply wondered if ancient wisdom could become your modern superpower, you're in the right place. Stick with me. This isn't just another motivational video. This could be the blueprint that rewires the way you live from the moment you wake up to the way you fall asleep. What you're about to discover is not just philosophy. It's a way of being, a path toward resilience, meaning, and unshakable happiness. And at the heart of it all lies a concept so simple, so beautiful, it's almost poetic, a concept born not from Rome, but from Japan. 1. Find your Ikigai. Discovering purpose in every morning. What if your mornings didn't feel like a battle between the alarm clock and your willpower? What if, instead, you woke up each day with a sense of purpose so clear and so powerful that hitting snooze felt like a waste of time? That's the promise hidden within the Japanese concept of Ikigai, the beautiful intersection where what you love, what you're good at, what the world needs, and what you can be paid for all come together in perfect harmony. This idea might feel modern, but its roots stretch deep into ancient wisdom. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, wasn't just obsessed with enduring hardship or showing strength under pressure. He believed each of us exists for a reason, a role only we can play. Life, to him, wasn't random chaos, it was an invitation to step into that role with integrity, passion, and a sense of duty to the greater whole. When you place Marcus's philosophy beside the concept of Ikigai, they suddenly feel like long-lost siblings, two ancient truths speaking the same language across centuries and continents. It's not enough to simply chase what you love. True purpose comes from aligning your talents and passions with the needs of the world around you and finding ways to make that sustainable. But how do you uncover something so profound? It starts not with grand gestures, but with quiet reflection. Ask yourself 4 essential questions. What do I truly love to do? What am I naturally good at? What does the world genuinely need from me? What could I actually be paid for? Don't worry if clear answers don't arrive overnight, they rarely do. This is not a race, it's an unfolding, a lifelong process of noticing patterns in your interests, following unexpected curiosities, and paying attention to the moments that make you feel most alive. The search for your Ikigai isn't self-indulgent, it's the opposite. It's about anchoring your life in meaning so that even the small, repetitive tasks take on purpose. When your daily actions align with your deeper calling, everything shifts. Your work becomes more fulfilling, your relationships grow deeper, and your creativity flows effortlessly. Even your sense of happiness, once fleeting, starts to feel like a steady presence. So tonight, when you set your alarm for tomorrow morning, pause for a moment, ask yourself, what would make me excited to jump out of bed? What calling feels so essential that I couldn't imagine ignoring it? Remember, this isn't about a sudden breakthrough, it's about showing up for the work. Every single day, with the same quiet commitment Marcus Aurelius lived by. Because in the end, finding your Ikigai isn't just about personal satisfaction, it's about weaving your unique thread into the vast human story we're all writing together. The Stoics knew it well. Our actions are not meant to be random or reactive, but purposeful steps guided by something deeper, a compass that always points us toward meaning. Small acts of discipline, building a virtuous life. This journey isn't just about turning yourself into a morning person. It's about something far deeper, cultivating a mindset capable of facing life head-on. With a rare blend of resilience and self-compassion. Take something as simple as placing your alarm clock on the other side of the room. On the surface, it's a clever trick to make snoozing less convenient, but beneath that, it's a declaration, a promise to yourself that you will rise. Even when comfort calls you back into bed, it's a signal, a small but deliberate act of defiance against inertia. A first step toward owning your day instead of being dragged into it. The same principle applies to something like making your bed. It's the kind of habit that's easy to dismiss. After all, who's going to see it? But this small act carries a weight far greater than it seems. It's not just about tidying sheets. It's about treating your space, and by extension, yourself, with care and respect. It's a physical reminder that your environment matters, that your surroundings deserve the same sense of order you're trying to cultivate within your mind. Marcus Aurelius would likely smile at these small victories, because in the Stoic worldview, character is not built in dramatic moments of glory, it's shaped in the quiet, daily decisions we make when no one's watching. Every time you choose to honor these tiny commitments, you're casting a vote for the type of person you're becoming. With every intentional action, you reinforce the belief that you are someone who values discipline, order, and self-respect. Why focus so much on these micro-actions? Because they sit squarely within your control. Life, as we all know, is unpredictable. No philosophy, not even Stoicism, can shield us from unexpected losses, sudden disruptions, or events far beyond our influence. But what you can control is how you meet the morning, how you treat your space, and how you prepare yourself for the day ahead. This is Stoicism in motion, focusing energy on what is within your power while learning to release what isn't. And this practice of small discipline isn't about self-control for its own sake. It's training for life's bigger storms. If you can consistently master these everyday moments, you're wiring yourself to stay calm when chaos arrives, to follow through on your word, and to stand steady in uncertainty. This mindset, a calm and collected spirit fortified by discipline, is exactly what Stoics admired most. It's not about perfection or harshness. It's about practicing intentionality in the smallest corners of your life. Knowing that those corners are where character takes shape. So, as you think about how to build your own foundation of discipline, start small, these moments in the quiet of morning, when you decide to rise instead of roll over. When you choose to make your bed or take a breath before diving into the day. This is where your story begins. One quiet, intentional moment at a time, you are forging your character. Avoid morning distractions. Embracing serenity. Marcus Aurelius knew all about distractions. Ancient Rome was no serene sanctuary, it was a whirlwind of politics, power struggles, and public scrutiny. But instead of drowning in the noise, he built his philosophy around one powerful principle: mastering the present moment. For Marcus, attention was everything. The sharper your focus, the clearer your mind, and the clearer your mind, the more intentional and meaningful your life becomes. This wisdom, though ancient, feels even more urgent today. In an age where your attention is the most valuable commodity, protecting it isn't just wise, it's revolutionary. So how do we apply this? It starts the moment you wake up. The first minutes of your morning are precious real estate, and yet most of us hand them over without a fight, rolling over to check notifications before we've even taken a deep breath. This habit of immediate reactivity throws you straight into the agendas of others' emails, headlines, social feeds before you've even asked yourself what you want from the day. What if you reclaimed that first hour as your own? No screens, no noise, just space to reconnect with yourself. This doesn't mean you need to craft the perfect morning routine filled with productivity hacks. In fact, it's not about adding more, it's about subtracting the unnecessary. Maybe you start your day with a few quiet minutes of journaling. Pouring your thoughts onto paper before the world has a chance to influence them. Maybe you sit with a cup of coffee, staring out the window as the sky shifts from gray to gold. Or you meditate not to achieve enlightenment, but to simply arrive fully in your own life. This isn't wasted time. This is an investment in clarity, a reserve of calm that you'll draw from all day long. It's a deliberate pause before the current of the day tries to sweep you away. The Stoics would call this focusing on what's within your control. You can't stop the emails, the demands, the unexpected chaos waiting for you. But you can choose how you enter the day. You can decide whether you meet life's noise reactively or from a place of inner steadiness. So tomorrow, before you reach for your phone, ask yourself, what kind of day do I want to create? Who do I want to be today? And how can I anchor myself before the world starts pulling at me? Every sunrise offers a reset, a chance to practice living with greater purpose and presence. When you design your mornings with intention, you're not just building better habits. You're making a quiet but profound statement about the kind of life you want to lead. That's not self-help fluff, that's timeless Stoic wisdom in action. Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, Epictetus, they weren't preaching about suffering through life with grim determination. They were showing us how to live deliberately, led by values, not impulses. That work begins not in some distant future, but in the quiet moments after you open your eyes each morning. Wake up consistently. The power of routine, one of the most powerful declarations you can make, not to the world, but to yourself, is how you choose to begin each day. Marcus Aurelius understood this. To the Stoics, waking up wasn't just a routine, it was a practice in self-governance. A reminder that you, and no one else, are responsible for how your day unfolds. This is the heart of Stoic philosophy, the belief that we may not control the external world, but we do control our choices, our mindset, and our actions, and the very first choice you make each morning, whether to rise with intention or surrender to distraction, sets the tone for everything that follows. It sounds simple, almost too simple. Wake up at the same time every day. But this tiny habit holds extraordinary power. It builds a sense of stability, a daily anchor that grounds you before the storms of life roll in. By choosing consistency, you are no longer waking up at the mercy of mood, fatigue, or circumstance. Instead, you rise on your terms with purpose, not passivity. But let's be honest, consistency is hard. It's supposed to be, especially in those first few days, when the warmth of your bed feels irresistible, and the snooze button whispers sweet promises of just 5 more minutes. This is the precise moment when perseverance, a cornerstone of Stoic strength, becomes your ally. Why are you doing this? What kind of person are you becoming? One intentional morning at a time. The Stoics teach us to keep our eyes on the larger purpose, to trade fleeting comfort for lasting character. Every time you rise with intention, you're not just getting out of bed, you're building discipline, proving to yourself that your actions align with your values. The real magic isn't just in the mornings themselves, it's in the ripple effect. When you master the first moments of your day, you carry that sense of control into every decision that follows. You become calmer under pressure, clearer in your thinking, and more present in your interactions. Consistency in the morning becomes consistency in life, in how you show up, work, love, and lead. So, how do you turn this from theory into reality? It starts the night before. Set a clear intention. Why does waking up at this particular time matter to you? Is it to claim quiet moments for reflection, to move your body before the world wakes up, to simply begin your day with calm instead of chaos? Anchor your why firmly in your mind. Then, design your environment to make success easier. Go to bed at a reasonable time. Dim the lights an hour before sleep. Maybe crack the curtains slightly so natural light helps nudge you awake. These small choices reinforce your commitment before your alarm even rings. And when that alarm does ring, remember, this is about more than a morning routine. It's about identity. Every morning you rise on purpose. You are casting a vote for the person you are becoming. Someone who chooses growth over comfort, discipline over distraction, and intention over impulse. This is Stoicism, not as ancient philosophy frozen in time, but as a living practice, alive in the quiet moments before dawn, shaping who you are and how you meet the world. Prepare the night before, setting the stage for success. If you want to own your mornings, the work doesn't actually start when the sun rises, it starts the night before. The way you end your day sets the tone for how the next one begins. It's tempting to stay up late, letting autoplay pull you into an endless scroll of shows, or to lose yourself in a sea of notifications until your eyelids can barely stay open. But pause for a moment and ask yourself, is that version of you, the one staring at a screen at 1 a.m., really setting tomorrow's you up for success? Your mind, like your body, needs time to slow down to unpack the events of the day. to make sense of what you've experienced, and to prepare for what's coming next. That's why an intentional evening ritual is more than just self-care. It's a signal to your brain that the day is gracefully closing, and rest is about to begin. This isn't about strict rules that drain the joy from your nights. It's about treating those final hours of the day with the same level of care you'd give to something truly important, because they are. Imagine curating an evening routine designed not just to pass time, but to actively nurture your well-being and your next day clarity. Start small. Something as simple as stepping away from screens an hour before bed can work wonders. It's not punishment, it's a gift. You're telling your mind, it's time to slow down. That single shift makes sleep come easier and more restorative. You can also prepare your mind for tomorrow with one quick habit. Write down your top 3 priorities for the next day. It sounds almost too simple, but this act brings incredible focus. It gives you a direction to walk in the moment your feet hit the floor. Instead of waking up reactive, immediately drowning in emails and notifications, you wake up with intention. And this is where Marcus Aurelius and his Stoic mindset fit so perfectly. He believed life isn't about controlling every outcome, it's about preparing yourself for whatever the day brings. You can't predict every challenge, but you can absolutely choose how you begin. Before sleep, take a few slow, deep breaths, not because it's trendy, because it works. Deep breathing calms the nervous system, lowers your heart rate, and tells your whole being, it's safe to rest now. This is not just sleep hygiene, it's mental reset. You wake up physically rested, yes, but also mentally sharper and emotionally steadier. In a world that never truly turns off, creating this kind of intentional evening might feel almost radical, but that's exactly why it matters. Imagine waking up into silence, before the world's noise has a chance to touch you. Just you, your breath, your thoughts, and the quiet promise of a brand new day. That's not just peaceful, it's powerful. And it's exactly the kind of focused, intentional living Marcus Aurelius believed in. He wasn't swiping through the distractions of ancient Rome, and you don't have to start your day tangled in the digital whirlwind of today. Take it easy, embracing self-compassion, with all this focus on discipline, consistency, and rising with the dawn. There's something essential we can't afford to overlook. We are human. And being human means we are wonderfully complicated creatures, wired with a brain that loves shortcuts and instant rewards. It's not laziness, it's biology. This is precisely why building new habits, especially ones that overhaul our mornings, can feel like pushing a boulder uphill. But here's the beautiful truth. Recognizing this isn't admitting defeat, it's embracing reality. And this is where Stoicism offers a refreshing perspective. While we often associate Stoic wisdom with grit and toughness, Marcus Aurelius himself practiced something many people miss: self-compassion. In his meditations, Marcus regularly reminded himself to be patient with his own flaws and missteps. He understood that demanding perfection from ourselves is not only unrealistic, it's counterproductive. Progress doesn't come from self-punishment. It comes from observing our stumbles with honesty, learning from them, and then letting them go. This mindset is critical when you're trying to reshape your mornings or build any habit that asks you to step outside your comfort zone. Those first few days, maybe even weeks, they will test you. Your alarm will ring, and every cell in your body will scream for more sleep. There will be mornings when you give in, when the bed wins. And you know what? That's okay. The real question is, what happens next? Do you let that slip-up trigger a storm of guilt and harsh self-talk? Or do you pause, take a breath, offer yourself the same grace you'd give a friend, and recognize that tomorrow is a brand new chance? This isn't weakness, this is strength. It's wisdom in action. It's the humility to know that growth isn't a straight line, but a winding road full of setbacks and restarts. True resilience isn't about never faltering, it's about how you recover and recommit after you do. Self-compassion in the Stoic sense doesn't mean lowering your standards or making endless excuses. It means understanding your nature, knowing that struggle is baked into the process of becoming better and working with yourself instead of against yourself. It's gently, but firmly, guiding yourself back on track without self-criticism clouding your path. Every morning is a reset button, a fresh canvas. Whether yesterday was a triumph or a mess, today begins with a clean slate. In this rhythm of effort, imperfection, and renewal, real growth takes root. This is why Stoicism isn't just a philosophy of toughness. It's a practice of self-awareness and grace in equal measure. So, as you work toward reclaiming your mornings, or any habit that matters to you, remember this. Celebrate the small wins. Learn from the missteps. And above all, show up the next day, ready to try again. This is how real change happens. One sunrise at a time. Accountability partners. Sharing the journey. These daily habits, waking early, making your bed, starting with intention. They are not just chores to check off a list. They are rituals. Small but powerful acts that anchor your day with purpose and infuse your life with meaning. One practice, often overlooked but incredibly effective, is finding an accountability partner, someone who doesn't just cheer you on from the sidelines but actively holds you to your word. This simple step can dramatically increase your chances of building and sustaining a consistent morning routine. Why? Because suddenly, your private commitment becomes a shared promise, and the weight of that promise makes your dedication stronger. This transforms self-discipline from a solitary struggle into a shared adventure. Instead of facing every early morning alone, you have someone walking the path alongside you, someone who understands how tempting the warmth of your bed can be. Someone who gently reminds you why you started in the first place. They celebrate your wins, no matter how minor, and offer encouragement when progress feels painfully slow. But this partnership is not one-sided. True accountability flows both ways. You become each other's witness and support, rooted in the understanding that growth is a shared human experience. We are all trying, in our own way, to become the best version of ourselves. This concept is not new. Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus repeatedly emphasized the value of community and shared wisdom in the Stoic pursuit of virtue and character. They believed that while self-reflection is critical, true growth often happens in dialogue, through honest conversations, constructive challenges, and the wisdom exchanged between fellow travelers on the same road. Choosing an accountability partner in today's world is a modern reflection of that ancient insight. It acknowledges that while self-discipline is deeply personal, it doesn't have to be lonely. In fact, when we allow someone to see our struggles and support our efforts, we become both stronger and more self-aware, more than just a daily check-in. A great accountability partner helps you see your blind spots, the little patterns or excuses you might not even notice. They offer fresh perspectives that can unlock breakthroughs you would never reach alone. They ask questions that force you to reflect, adapt, and evolve. So, how do you find this partner? Look for someone who values personal growth as much as you do, a friend, a colleague, maybe even a family member. Trust is essential. You need someone you feel safe enough to be honest with about your intentions, struggles, and moments of doubt. Once you've found that person, lay down clear expectations. What goals are you working toward? How often will you check in? What kind of support do you need? Gentle reminders, tough love, or simply someone to listen? And remember, your role is just as important. Be there for them too. Celebrate their victories, share your own lessons, and when needed, offer that compassionate nudge back toward the path. Because in the end, personal growth may begin within, but it flourishes through connection. Memento Mori. Remembering the value of every day. Finding an accountability partner is not just about seeking someone to monitor your progress. It's about building a relationship rooted in shared purpose. It's about creating a safe, supportive space where honesty flows freely, where vulnerability is met with compassion, and where you uplift each other not only in your morning routines but also in the broader journey of life itself. In this shared space, your personal goals and your partner's aspirations intertwine, forming a collective commitment to living with intention, discipline, and meaning. Every check-in, every encouraging message, every moment of reflection becomes part of a larger story, one in which both of you are striving to craft a life of substance. But there's a deeper Stoic thread running through this practice, one that ties directly to how the ancient philosophers approached life itself, the contemplation of mortality. This isn't about dwelling on death in a grim or morbid way, far from it. In the writings of Marcus Aurelius, we see that reflecting on the fleeting nature of life was an invitation to clarity. It was a call to strip away the trivial, to recognize the preciousness of time, and to focus energy on what truly matters, living virtuously, serving others, and building a legacy worth leaving behind. Each morning, when you rise, when you make that conscious decision to step into the day instead of retreating into sleep, you are answering that call. You are embracing a chance to engage with life fully, to contribute something of value, and to pursue the kind of growth that outlives you. This perspective transforms your mornings from a routine into a sacred opportunity. Marcus Aurelius wrote often about the brevity of existence, not to depress himself, but to liberate himself, by accepting that time was slipping through his fingers, as it does for all of us. He freed himself from obsessing over minor frustrations or fleeting pleasures. Instead, he was able to focus on his responsibilities as both emperor and human being, committed to living with wisdom, justice, courage, and temperance. When we bring this awareness into our mornings, everything shifts. Each sunrise becomes a gift, not a given. Each small act, making your bed, writing your goals, stepping outside to greet the day, becomes a conscious choice to honor the time you've been granted. Your relationships feel more precious. Your work carries more meaning. Even the quiet moments, like that first sip of coffee or the stillness before the world wakes up, take on a sense of wonder. This shift in mindset also reframes how we deal with challenges. When you remember that life is finite, heady frustrations lose their grip. Obstacles become temporary inconveniences, no longer worthy of stealing your peace. Setbacks are just pauses, reminders to regroup and keep going, because there is simply no time to waste. Ultimately, this practice of remembering our mortality fosters gratitude for the present and fierce clarity for the future. It invites us to cherish each morning as a chance to become the person we most want to be. So how do we begin? It starts with a simple reflection, a pause before you even leave your bed. A quiet question to yourself: if today were my last, how would I want to show up for it? Practice negative visualization, preparing for challenges. Each morning arrives like a fresh canvas, untouched, full of possibility, waiting for you to leave your mark. This isn't just poetic imagery. It's a very real opportunity to shape how your life story unfolds and to influence the lives of those around you. What if you asked yourself, before your feet even hit the floor, if today were my final chapter, would I be proud of how I'm about to write it? This isn't an invitation to drown in existential dread or obsess over mortality. It's a call to wake up to the gift of being alive, a reminder that today, with all its ordinary moments and unexpected twists, is something countless others never got. With that perspective, the small choices, how you greet your family, how you show up to work, how you respond to setbacks, begin to matter more. This is the heart of Memento Mori, the Stoic tradition of remembering death, not to fixate on the end, but to live more fully in the present. By embracing the reality that life is finite, we protect ourselves from slipping into autopilot living. We trade mindless distraction for mindful action, ensuring our values guide our days, not just fleeting moods or external pressures. When we approach each morning this way, gratitude becomes automatic. The sun rising becomes more than a background event. It's a personal invitation to live with purpose. Every small decision, from what you prioritize to how you spend your attention, becomes part of your legacy. This isn't theoretical Stoicism. This is practical philosophy woven into daily life. That brings us to a second, equally profound Stoic tool: negative visualization. Modern self-help often tells us to focus exclusively on the positive, to visualize success, abundance, and happiness in order to manifest them. The Stoics, however, offered a different kind of visualization, one rooted not in wishful thinking, but in resilience training. Negative visualization doesn't mean expecting the worst or living in fear. It's about periodically imagining loss, failure, or adversity, not to dwell in sadness, but to practice strength. Picture the bus running late. Picture your project hitting a snag. Picture a difficult conversation waiting for you at work. When you rehearse these moments mentally, you soften their impact if they ever arrive. You're no longer blindsided or paralyzed by them. You're prepared. Like a Stoic preparing for battle, you step into the day with a calm mind, ready for both fortune and misfortune. Neither can shake the core of who you are. This is the wisdom of Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus, that nothing external is fully ours to control. People leave, jobs change, health falters, but within that fragile reality lies a source of unshakable power: the ability to choose your response, to meet hardship with grace, to anchor yourself in virtues, patience, courage, and humility, no matter what unfolds. By making negative visualization part of your morning ritual, You shift from naive optimism to prepared resilience. You no longer step into your day hoping it's smooth. You step into it ready for anything. And that readiness doesn't just protect you from life's storms. It lets you appreciate its calm days more deeply. This is how you walk the Stoic path, with eyes wide open, neither fearing life's difficulties nor clinging desperately to its comforts, but fully awake to both. End with gratitude. Reflecting on the day's gifts. Think of negative visualization as a mental training ground, a space where you quietly strengthen your emotional resilience before life even has a chance to test you. When setbacks eventually arrive, and they always do, you won't be caught off guard. You'll step into the moment like an experienced traveler who's studied the map. Already familiar with the terrain ahead, you won't panic or crumble. Instead, you'll calmly draw from the inner strategies you've rehearsed, ready to navigate the storm with wisdom and grace. But this practice does more than prepare you for hardship. It unexpectedly deepens your gratitude for the present moment. By briefly imagining life without the comforts, relationships, or opportunities you hold dear, you return to reality with a renewed sense of appreciation. Suddenly, the ordinary feels precious, the cup of coffee in your hands, the sunlight spilling through your window, the sound of a loved one's voice. None of it feels guaranteed anymore. This isn't about obsessing over potential loss. It's about loving life more fiercely because you understand how fragile it truly is. So how can you make negative visualization a healthy, empowering habit? Start small. Each morning, spend a minute or two reflecting on the day ahead. Consider what could go wrong, not in a catastrophic way, but in the spirit of gentle preparedness. Picture obstacles you might face. And more importantly, imagine how your best self would respond. What strengths could you draw upon? What mindset would serve you? What lessons could you embrace if things didn't go as planned? Then, release the visualization. You've rehearsed. You're ready. Now step into the day with confidence and clarity. At the other end of the day, as the world grows quiet and you prepare for rest, there's another equally powerful Stoic practice waiting for you: gratitude journaling. It's a deceptively simple ritual, but don't underestimate its transformative power. Before you sleep, pause for a moment, reflect on the day you just lived, and write down a few things you're grateful for. They don't have to be grand or extraordinary. In fact, the beauty lies in appreciating the ordinary magic, a stranger's unexpected kindness, a conversation that made you smile, the comfort of your pillow after a long day. This nightly habit shifts your perspective. Instead of lying awake replaying frustrations or longing for what's missing, you fall asleep grounded in the abundance that already surrounds you. It's a practice perfectly aligned with Stoic teachings, which remind us to focus not on what's outside our control, but on the richness of what's already within reach. Gratitude redirects your attention from scarcity to sufficiency, training your mind to see life's gifts rather than its gaps. And this shift does more than improve your sleep. It reshapes how you wake up. When gratitude is the final note of your day, it lingers like a soft melody into the morning. Instead of waking with dread or mindless scrolling, you rise with a quiet sense of anticipation, curious about what else today might offer to be thankful for. This shift from passive mornings to purposeful ones is how a Stoic day truly begins. But the impact of gratitude doesn't stop with you. It spills into your relationships, making you more aware of the people who enrich your life, and more likely to express your appreciation to them directly. Gratitude softens edges. It makes you more patient, more generous, more connected to the humanity in others. You start noticing beauty in places you once overlooked, in shared laughter, in simple meals, in everyday acts of care. When we talk about building better mornings, it's tempting to focus on productivity hacks. Wake up at 5 a.m. Drink green juice. Crush your to-do list. But the truth is, a meaningful morning starts the night before with gratitude. It's the bridge between one day and the next, a way to close the curtain on the past with peace, and open the door to the future with intention. This is the essence of practical Stoicism. It's not about memorizing quotes or idolizing ancient thinkers. It's about living the philosophy, weaving its wisdom into the rhythms of ordinary life. A good life, according to the Stoics, isn't defined by wealth, status, or external success. It's defined by inner peace, resilience, and a profound sense of gratitude for existence itself, even when life is messy, imperfect, and unpredictable. As we wrap up this exploration of 10 Stoic-inspired strategies to transform your mornings and your life, one truth becomes clear. Each practice isn't just a task to check off. It's a gateway to a life lived with deeper meaning, greater strength, and richer joy. Embracing these habits doesn't guarantee perfect days, but it does equip you to meet every day with a clearer mind, a steadier heart, and a soul that knows how to savor the fleeting miracle of being alive. This journey through Stoic mornings is just the beginning. The wisdom of Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus spans lifetimes, offering insights not only for how to start your day, but for how to live and lead with courage, compassion, and clarity. If you found this series helpful, consider it your invitation to keep exploring. The playlist linked on your screen is filled with more Stoic stories, timeless teachings, and practical tools to help you deepen this practice. And if you want to support this growing community of modern Stoics, like, subscribe, and share your own experiences in the comments below. How has Stoic wisdom shaped your mornings? What practices have you found most powerful? Let's learn from each other, just as the ancient Stoics did, because the pursuit of wisdom is always better when it's shared. Here's to mornings rooted in purpose, to days lived with intention, and to lives overflowing with gratitude. Thank you for being part of the top Stoics. See you soon for more journeys into the timeless art of living well.